Tell us about Undercan. How it started, when it started, why Undercan as well?
Yeah, I'm like it really started like it's kind of got a long drawn out history, but you know I was when I was in before I came here, I used to do like thrift store shopping. Like when I used to go on stage, you know, they have these secondhand shops which had these incredible finds. You know, you're gonna find a unique thing that nobody else has. So when I came here, I was like, dang, well, because you performing every day or every week or something like that, and you want something fresh and new. So I started making clothes. I started making shirts for myself with like Ethiopian touches or whatever. And there was the Caramella brothers, Tef and Desta in DC. I used to go see them when I went to DC, and they'd be like, "Man, you should start a store back home." And I was like, "Man, that's the last thing I was thinking, but that's a great idea." So I was sitting in my parents' living room, and I was just sitting on the floor, and it just blasted in my head. Like I was like, "Oh, wow, that's a pretty cool name. Kind of plays on my name." It's and then I created it like an ode to the dreamers. Like when you walk into the stadium as an Olympian, that feeling that you get. Like so, like for example, I like to make the products like one of one, so nobody has what you have. So that pride and that feeling of like being proud of like sharing this product is the spirit of Undercan, like an ode to the dreamers. So one time I was on stage at Harlem Jazz, and I just bought this jacket in Haya Hulet, and I thought it was so cool. And I was on stage. I thought I was looking smooth, and I looked out in the audience, and I saw a guy who had the same jacket on. And I was like, "Oh man!" So that was the spirit of trying to make one of one unique products, And we've been at it for about 6 or 7 years now.
Wow.
Originally started with a brother named Haile Yesus.
6-7 years now.
Yeah, we started in bazaars and things like that, and it's grown and increased. A big shout out to my very small team, Henok and Admasu, who hold me down. Like and we are actually bigger than our actuality. You know what I mean? Like I positioned the brand like I positioned music back in the day. I was like, well, I had a website in 1996 for Kenny Allen Music, K Allen Music.
Serious?
So I've been on this digital thing for a very long time, and I've been promoting things for a very long time. So, I'm just waiting for Undercan to hit the international, fashion weeks and things like that. But, we're just trying to take it slow and focus on consistency and quality, because, I just want to make sure that when we go out to the world, that there's no turning back. We go out there and it just catches fire, and we keep it moving like that. So, Undercan is a platform for me to do bigger and better things and more, humanitarian efforts and things like that. I'm just trying to create a platform that I can have a voice for the voiceless, and I think that's what is more important to me in life than fame and money and things like that. Is like we sometimes become the chosen ones to represent those who cannot represent themselves.
Wow. That's actually a very powerful one. And now, man, that sounds like an amazing purpose you got for it as well, man. And, I mean, tell me about how you got into this whole digital world.
Man, like...
you know what I mean? Like, an also digital world, so...
Like, even, I'm telling you, like, in 94, I was at University of Maryland, and, like, one of my boys was like, yo, come to the computer lab. I'm like, the computer lab? Nobody goes to the computer lab in 1994. Like, so he was like, there's this thing, man. It's called the World Wide Web. So it's me and like 4 of my closest friends. And like, we were so blown away. Like, you click here, you go somewhere else. It was literally the beginning of the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, nobody had internet at their dorm rooms, but there was a computer lab that we all went, and he showed us this, and I don't even know how he found out about it. Maybe he was in computer science or whatever. Right. So, like, I was like, wow, well, this is definitely a way to reach people, and then as it started growing, like, I was just into it, and I felt at home with it because I've been with it for a couple years, so. And and now things are changing, and like algorithms and like these big companies don't want you to use their platform without them getting the money, So that's what I'm actually struggling with that at the moment, is like how to bring. And I might check out some of the courses you were talking about earlier, because I need to like I find myself very strong within the Ethiopian community worldwide, but I also feel like, sometimes the people who are your fans are not necessarily your supporters, and that's a very interesting concept. Like the people closest to you are the most likely people to ask you for free tickets. Can I get on the list?
Can I get a discount?
When your fans, the people who are really your support, there's a difference between fans and supporters, And I think when you're building your base, you want to focus on people who are your supporters, people who will ride for you, Like fans sometimes just get on board because they think it's cool. Supporters are really dialed into what you do. And I kind of would rather have like 5 supporters than 10 million fans. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be adorned. I need to be helped. Like I need some people to support the movement. So, but in the digital realm, like I had I have a very good friend called Corey, and he taught me the essence of quality control, and so I apply that to music. I mix and master records. I'm editing these videos, and I'm just determined to make the best quality I can. Make a great aesthetic, a great sound, and then let it do what it does.
That's amazing, and I love the fact that the quality that you put into every detail goes to show that the way you do one thing, the way you do everything.
Absolutely, I stand by that. I'm consistent. Like that's like my top priority. Like besides keeping my word, like being consistent is like the second highest priority because I want people to say, like, there's sometimes I get jobs that I'm not even qualified to do, but people know that if I'm associated with it, that I'm going to at least give it my all, and I'm not going to leave. I don't have that. I'm going to do it halfway. I can't do anything halfway. Like it's all or done for me.
I feel you. And following up to another question as well, because you mix and master, and you've been doing all the other projects as well, and you've been doing it for a very long time. You have worked with a whole lot of people in the game and the music industry, well-known artists,
Absolutely.
and you know what I mean. Even the upcoming ones, the youngster ones. Kenny Allen, you've been involved in most of the hits that we know right now, you know what I mean, the one we love, and you have had a major impact on training and mixing and showing people how it's done and so forth, and you have well-rounded knowledge of the music industry here in Ethiopia. So here in InSheger, we like to focus on empowering the youth and so forth. So what kind of tip or advice do you have? It was more of a general question that I have. What kind of tip and advice that you have for the youngsters as well, and in connection, comment on the music industry and what this current generation is bringing to the platform?
Yeah, I mean, I think what people have to realize in any kind of artistic journey is that it's not like all of a sudden one day you become like this or that. And if it does happen like that, you better brace yourself because like all the people I know who are great or who have achieved greatness, they never stop learning, so it's not like, hey, I got my record out, or I love music, let me make a record. Like it's like you gotta really put in the work, man. Like, and that's what I want to tell to the young people. Like, just because you got a good voice doesn't mean you're ready to make a record. Get out there, do some shows, get your chops up, become like a little bit ahead of people, before you start putting yourself out there as like a recording artist or whatever. Like, so it's about, I always follow the greats. If somebody asked me to make a country western record, I'd be listening to Kenny Rogers, Don Williams. I'd be fully immersed in like what is the greatest that ever happened of this, and that's what I feel like. If you're a rapper, even if you're a rapper and you're into the little manamins, like I'm gonna ask you to go back to like the '80s and like the origins of rap. Like like you should be versed. You should become an expert at what you do. A historian. All the people that I know who are internationally acclaimed, they're actually historians on the art form in one way or another. Maybe I'm showing my age, but like, yeah, if you know all about the little Uzis and little Smoozies or whatever, like, then like that's cool. Like it's all relative, but be an expert at what you do, and like there should be no time for you to waste. Like you should always be learning more about your craft and practicing and just becoming the best version of yourself as possible. So it's about consistency. It's about educating yourself. It's also about surrounding yourself. I always surrounded myself with people who are better than me. Because it's great. It's a great service to yourself to be the least knowledgeable person in a room. You know what I'm saying?
You get to benefit a lot from it.
You get to benefit. It's learning. You got to step your game up. You know, so the kids out there. I know it's alluring to see the fame and the bling bling or whatever that happens on TV, but like you also got to realize that comes with a price, and it's also not always real. Like when you dress for a movie. Yeah, you feel like you believe in that character, but also know that that's wardrobe, that's makeup, that's light. It's not reality, So learn to distinguish what's real and what's not, and then you can base your dreams off the realities of things,
That's very true. I couldn't agree more, and I think that especially nowadays, though, I'm sure, and you have worked with them as well with a couple of young artists that are coming up. You mentioned a few of them, Adu, and then you've worked with Kasmasa as well. Tell us about the upcoming artists and what do you feel about what's to come and the records that these youngsters are releasing these days.
Yeah, I'm actually quite optimistic. Like, and I can tell you that 10 years ago, I didn't think anything was really happening. I was like, well, if I haven't seen them, then they don't exist. But now. With the opening up of the internet, like I feel like people are being able to travel virtually, and their pool of knowledge is getting greater. And I really am seeing some bright young talents. Like just witnessed Johanna, the singer Johanna.
Yeah.
She gave an amazing performance the other day. And like there's a girl called Sion, there's a girl called Rumi. Like there's a lot of awesome female vocals that are coming up right now, like who can really sing, like what I'm saying, like soulful. I'm like, where did y'all come from? Like and to give credit where credit is due, like I feel like an artist like Chelina sort of broke the mold on soulful Ethiopian singers, and even how I got here was through a singer named Wayna. She's Ethiopian, and I was performing with her. And then the promoter of the concert, Emmanuel Mokria, was opening up Harlem Jazz here. So there is a lineage of sort of like soulful music, and even the old Ethiopic records. They were so banging. Like it was a band and studio, people playing together, like people who hung out with each other, like people who vibed with each other. And that's when I talk about putting together a band. I also need people that I'm going to hang out with in real life. Like I don't want somebody who's just some monster musician showing up at my gig and like being like, well, I know all your music. Do you know what I did yesterday? Did we talk yesterday? Because at a certain point, being on stage is just like it's a how do I say it? It's an extension of real life. It's gotta be seamless. I always love to eat with my band before we go on stage because already you got a dialogue. On stage, it's just a dialogue with instruments, It shouldn't be like, I'm standing here, and here's my part, and this guy's the singer, and this guy's the drummer. It should be a conversation. So all the bad A bands that I ever played with, like, people, we actually talked on stage, like, yo, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Yo, don't forget to, it's real, and that's what I stand for. It's like authentic art, reality, real stuff,
Bringing it out onto the platform, putting it there, instead of trying to make it look good, just be there in tune with the art.
There, and sorry, and I just really have a great optimism about the young artists. I feel like they are really like coming to life. Like there's a studio at the park. These guys have a great family, and it's about a movement. It's not about one person's the star. Like when you create movements where there's like 3 or 4 artists, all great musical movements have come because there was 3 or 4 people who were at the forefront of a general idea. There was like grunge music that came out of Seattle. There was like hip hop that came out in the 90s. Like, all these kind of movements came because like-minded individuals who shared like the same kind of references and the same kind of background, they got together and said, look, there's power in numbers. And I think, this is very valuable in this time right now because, we're one people, man. I don't care about what tribe or whatever, what place of you're from. We all bleed the same. And essentially, I would consider myself a bit of an honorary Ethiopian. I feel a part of this union. And it saddens me, that, I couldn't punch you in your face right now. Like, I don't care what you said. I might want to, but I cannot punch you in my face. You're my bro. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we need to adopt that same thing. You know, we need to find more advanced ways at solving problems. We're smart enough. Like, we can do this. We don't have to kill each other to come up with a solution, because all it does is just leaves, you know, what they say, when you poke somebody in the eye, it leaves one man blind, or something like that. Like, an eye for an eye leaves two men, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think this is a very, very important narrative, and like, you know, it's bigger than us. You know, there's a lot of things at stake, but you know, we just want to try to find better ways at resolving problems. That happens on a day-to-day level. We gotta learn how to talk to each other again. Yeah.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more, man. Thank you so much, Kenny, for coming through this Friday morning. I don't even know where the time goes, man. It's just when you're having a good time. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. But it was such an incredible time with you, man. Always, and we can't wait to see you. You're also going to be working on the next month record.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to call you up and like, okay, Kenny.
Absolutely. I'm going to start that
12 for 12.
I'm going to start that this weekend. And also, I just want to say, like, you can find the videos at Kenny Allen, youtube.com/Kenny Allen Music. Okay. On Instagram, Otto Kenny Allen, and for the bags, it's Undken, UNDKEN. So, like, you know, definitely get on those platforms and keep in touch with what's going on.
Definitely. Make sure you check out Andiken's store as well, as they have amazing stuff. I should definitely need some.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I'm gonna call you up. Ladies and gents, we do have to wrap it up. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. To you, good is better, and your better is best, my people. Go out and be the best version of yourself. And as we always say, be part of the solution. But by all means, please do not be part of the problem. We're gonna end this show with "Love Don't Live."
Yeah, man.
Tell us about this tune real quick before we play it.
Where love don't live, like, I just found myself going to nightclubs trying to find a wife. I'm like, there's no wives at nightclubs, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so love don't
that's like a 1 in a million chance you're gonna find your wife at a club. So it basically was about, you know, you'll never find love where love don't live, you know. So that, you know, that's it. I ain't gotta say more.
All right, ladies and gents, we're gonna end the show with a record. Let's get to it. I'll see you guys on Monday morning. Let's get to it.
All right.